So, time management is something that all of us need a better understanding of how to manage our time, but I feel like it's so much more important for entrepreneurs such as myself. Some of us may feel like we're doing amazing time management, but in reality, there are some signs that we can clearly tell that your time management may not be the best if you're an entrepreneur. So I would like to go over those today. Hello everyone, I'm Jonathan Aquino and I'll teach the next generation. So a lot of these signs come from actually my past experiences, kind of going through my entrepreneurial journey. These were a lot of rookie mistakes, I guess you could say, when it comes to managing time and truly utilizing it to this maximum level where you're doing everything in the specified time with maximum efficiency and productivity. And I feel like this is really important for brand new entrepreneurs who want to become entrepreneurs and successful ones, or, more advanced and experienced ones who may not realize that they might be doing something incorrect when it comes to time management. And I've seen it all, I've done it all, and I'm going to go over the 7 signs of you may be having some poor time management as an entrepreneur. And I'm going to try and give some practical tips surrounding these based off of what I have done to kind of fix the issue and improve my time management overall. Now, I should preface that some of these may be more applicable to differing levels of entrepreneurship. So if you have, let's say, like employees versus not having employees, some of these may not apply. If you do all the work yourself, that also something may not apply. But generally speaking, at some point in your entrepreneurial journey, you will have to handle all these time management issues that may come up. So I'm just going to make that very clear. Not all of these may apply to you currently, but eventually they will apply to you as you continue to grow in your entrepreneurial journey. So the first one would be constantly missing deadlines that you may not realize. And when it comes to missing deadlines, I don't think it's in a sense of, just not doing the work and procrastinating. Sometimes it can be because you don't set enough time for your tasks or your projects or your assignments. You may not realize that you work a different manner, you work, differently compared to other people. Like you and I, we both work differently, where I might work super well for like 3 hours straight and you work very well for 1 hour straight. It's different levels. So you need to understand how you work and then translate that to your deadlines, because if it takes you a lot longer to do work, then you might want to set a bit of a longer deadline, not because you're going to procrastinate on it, but it's because you know how you work. So for this one, I would say try and set realistic deadlines, but if you do want to push yourself, I would say probably shorten it by a couple of days, but like definitely no more, because deadlines can get very unnecessarily stressful if you do it wrong. I remember when we were doing conferences, because I was helping a business partner with doing in-person conferences with books, and we were like the deadlines were so strict in terms of getting there, setting up, and then being there, that it just puts unnecessary stress if you set arbitrarily difficult deadlines to reach. So just set realistic deadlines and don't 100% kill yourself over them if you miss them. It's not that deep. I promise it's not that deep, guys. I promise. So delegation is actually something I struggled with back when I actually worked as an instructor more, because I had an inflated ego, I admit it, where I felt that I was the best instructor there because I could do all the teachings, I could do all the customer service, and I could, do everything very well. Whereas I felt, the other instructors couldn't really do it as well as me. So I felt that I had to do everything, because if they did it, it would go wrong. It would waste time in class. It would get to the master and the master would be pissed at them and then at me. And I was like, cool, I'll just deal with it all. But what I didn't realize is how quickly you get burnt out. I think I went from being like 100% energy throughout the classes to like just getting by the day in a couple of months of doing that. And it was very fast how I deteriorated in terms of, my mental well-being and physical well-being. Now, granted, I could still teach just fine, but dear God, my head was not in the game for most of the time. So when it translated to entrepreneurship, I still had that same problem where I felt like I was, up here and my business partner was around here. But that's just not how it was. But because I thought of it that way, I did most of the work. So his to-do list would be like this, and mine would be like this. I think you can see the problem. So when it comes to delegation, if you have a business partner or someone you're working with, I would definitely recommend to put more trust into them if you don't trust them already. It will take time, but you can gradually introduce tasks that you don't necessarily need to work on because they're not the most important thing, but they can handle. So I know that he doesn't know and doesn't understand how to source online, but I do. But I don't really care about packaging and shipping the inventory and orders, but he can. So I gave all of that to him, and that weight is left off of me, so I don't have to worry about that anymore. So you kind of have to delegate if you have people, employees. Just trust them, build up that trust so that they can do the job that they meant to do. If you are by yourself, if you're a solopreneur, I would recommend whatever online work you may have, try and find ways to automate it or get AI to do it, because it would truly simplify the amount of work you would need to do. If you want a very easy, improvement, I would say a worthy investment would be the ChatGPT 4, because I've recently invested into it and it helps so goddamn much. Like, all the scripts for YouTube are better. All my work for business work is a lot better. Like, it has severely decreased how much time I need to invest. So I would definitely, if you can, find ways to delegate your work, because there's nothing better than freeing up a lot of your time for other things that may be important to you. So following on from this, if you don't have your priorities straight, it doesn't really matter what you work on, because you're just going to be wasting your time. I just whistled. I've never whistled in my life. Anyway, when you prioritize, you can focus all of your energy into those priorities or goals. I remember when I didn't have a set goal, whether it was revenue, inventory, meetings, etc. When I didn't have a set goal, I kind of worked a little in everything, but it didn't give me, 10 times more results. It gave me like 2 times, 1.2, 1.3. It wasn't great. But when I set a goal with revenue, it was like, all right, for this month, we're going to hit 8K in revenue. And that was the only goal, get 8K in revenue. I found myself doing whatever I could to get to that number. And I found that instead of hitting 8K, I think in that month we actually hit 10K. So if you have your priorities straight, it definitely makes it a lot easier to invest your energy and your time into your work. An easy way to do it, if you're not sure what your priorities are, would be using the Eisenhower matrix. And one of the boxes for it is urgent and important. So this is the work that has to get done and is extremely important to your long-term success. So whatever you fill in for the Eisenhower matrix for that, that's what I would recommend you prioritize. I've done a video on it. You can actually search it up. It's very straightforward to understand. And when you get it and you got it done right, you should have your prioritization skills up to par. Then it comes to work-life balance. Now, I've already talked about work-life balance in a previous video. And when it comes to work-life balance, you should try, when it comes to that, balancing your work and your personal health, where you want to make sure you're taking care of yourself. Because I screwed up very badly on this front, where I grinded 24/7 for 2 months on my business. Granted, revenue was up 3 times compared to previous months. But what could I do with it? Because I was stuck in bed for a couple of weeks because I couldn't move. I couldn't do anything. I was burnt out. I was tired. I was physically, mentally, emotionally exhausted. I was done. So when it comes to that work-life balance, it was maybe 100% work and 0% social life, physical health, mental health. Like, none of that was a priority. It was just work. And that will kill you really fast. So I've taken a different approach. Currently, I'm on more of a 60-40 split, where I'm putting 60% effort into my business and I'm 40% into family, health, and myself. And I definitely feel a lot better now. I feel closer with my family, and it's definitely helped. While yes, my business has slowed a bit, I personally feel a lot healthier. And I know when times change and I'm ready to shift into a serious work mode, I now know to not go 100% purely into it. I now know to go maybe 90 and 10, where 10% is focused on making sure I get enough rest and recovery. So I would recommend kind of keeping in mind how much work you want to get done and compare that to how much you need to take care of your health. Because it doesn't matter how much you work if you're not taking care of yourself. It doesn't matter how much money you make if you're not taking care of yourself. It's simple as that. I wish I understood that earlier. And then, more of an obvious one is procrastination. This one's pretty simple. If you feel like you're procrastinating a lot, it's probably because your work is too big and your brain goes, oh, what the fuck? Like, you might want to make that project or task a bit smaller and break it down over a period of time. You don't have to get it all done in one day. It can take a week, it can take 2 weeks, it can take a month. I have projects that I think currently are planned for like the next 3 months, 4 months, and like I'm dedicating an entire month to them, so I don't have to do them right now. I'm not procrastinating. I'm smartly delaying all of that work because I have work that's more necessary right now. These videos I'm recording, I'm necessary right now because I have to get them recorded now before I move, because I don't know how long it's going to take me to set up there. So I want to get all of this recorded. Whereas if I delay these videos, well, when it comes time to move, I'm not going to have any videos uploaded, and I'm going to be screwed because I'll have broken my daily upload streak. So keep that in mind when it comes to procrastination. Just very simply break down big tasks to small tasks. That's about it. I've done plenty of videos, so if you want to check those out, I think there's like 6 of them already. I don't know. I've done too many or not enough. We'll see. Then I would say the last thing that you should have in terms of a mindset shift would be to be more reactive than proactive. And what it basically boils down to is make sure you are prepared before shit hits the fan versus actually doing the stuff when the shit hits the fan. So when stuff goes wrong, you want to make sure you have like protocols or ideas in place. So when shit does hit the fan, you know exactly what to do if shit does hit the fan. Whereas when I was an idiot, I didn't. Shit hit the fan, I had no idea what to do. And shit kept hitting the fan for days or weeks. And I had to figure it out on the fly. Whereas nowadays I have stuff prepared because I've been through a lot of it, which may take some time. This one might take the longest because if you're brand new, you have no idea what your business is going to do. You have no idea what your idea is going to have complications. So it will take time, but you can do market research. What issues have they had? And then try and implement ways to stop that from happening in your end. But try to be ready for whatever happens versus fucking around and finding out, for a lack of a better term. So if you can recognize these, signs of poor time management, it can help transform not only your business and entrepreneurship journey, but also your personal life. So overall, if you implement them correctly, the ones I mentioned, you can boost your productivity and overall well-being. And it's not about working harder, it's about working smarter and making sure you're at peak health and peak productivity at all times, because there's no better feeling than when you are feeling healthy and happy and getting all of your work done. There's no better feeling, honestly. It's so good. It will take time, it will take optimization, so you have to find your right balance of work and productivity hacks and all of that. Just find your right balance. It will take time, but I believe in you. It's gonna take some effort, but you'll figure it out. You're an entrepreneur. Your experience, you've got this. I know you do. Come on. Entrepreneurship is hard. I think you can handle some time management. I think you can do it. So if you found these tips helpful, you should definitely check out the other video that I made about the one productivity hack that you don't know about. And in that, I want to go over one specific technique that I actually recently learned and has significantly helped with the workload that I do. And if you want to take back control of your time and never have stress again over it, check the links down below in the description.